Hey everyone, welcome back to the quarterfinals of Jaraci Cup 6. We're going to be continuing now with Cookies as the Conef and Orbnet as Soban. I like the colors here. This will be a pretty fun matchup. Orbnet, of course, if you remember, placing in fact in the semifinals of the last tournament, which of course got him into Group Stage A. Pretty fun player to watch in general. Going to be playing the Soban here. And he used this style that we hadn't really seen before, which was exactly this. It was going very greedy in economy and then like rushing BCs basically. Cookies, meanwhile, playing Conef. Somewhat of a newer player. I might be wrong to that. He's definitely somewhat newer to the tournament scene. I believe this is his second tournament that he's played in. And I don't expect him to have terribly great odds here, but we'll see what he can do. You can always be surprised by people like Marchwadden, for example. It's popped off randomly. LEV Fab actually coming up first, though, for Orbnet. This is a bit unique. He's mixing it up a little bit. This is not what he was doing before. I'm taking notes, by the way, because obviously I'm playing this guy in the semi-finals. AV Fab starting for him now. So this is not an AV rush build, though, for sure, right? Well, check the timing. Yeah, I mean, this is only about like 9 seconds late, so actually this could be an AV rush. And Cookies, meanwhile, going for Salt Chip Tech first, so it's not going to be ref mode from him. But I usually like to see the kind of player move out across the map with his PC, if he's going to go for tech like that really early. That can be the case here, though. And then Fleet Cap 45 gonna get teched at a really suspicious time. That seems like a mistake to me. Obviously, you know, you don't need to get Fleet Cap until you're actually like at that capacity level. So, you would do that if like you were gonna get ref mode next or something, and like you didn't want to get Fleet Cap during it. But like that can't be the play here, right? I hope not, anyway. But it seems for sure he's gonna be playing on defense mode if these AVs from Orbnet get out fast enough. Although, it seems somewhat slow. Maybe I'm just mistaken on the timings there. No, yeah, because he should have, like, he finished AV Tech before the 28-minute mark hit, right? So shouldn't he have one out already? Oh well, first AV hitting the field now. And then Orbnet's going to go into an SC, what the heck? What is this? Unique build from Orb, for sure. Nice kind of cruise missile hit there, lands directly on the LAV, manages to get the kill. And now Cookies is going to start moving out across the field with that PC, so definitely a bit late, I would say, but he does get armor 1, though. That's crucial. It's really, really good. Exactly what you want to see. And really nice play by these LAVs here from Orbnet to just kind of stop his opponent from getting onto that second base. SC comes out. Now Orbnet going to start driving this carrier off toward the second base, of course, trying to just get that one set up. It's weird to see like eco after an AV rush, but that is what we're getting here. I mean, in some ways this is a bit fortunate because he is going to get rushed here, but like, of course, what you got to realize, if this was like a true AV rush, he holds his opponent out on this side of the map rather than over here, and I feel like that's got to be better. So I don't know. I'm a little critical of this build here by Orbnet. I think another LIV just died there. Yeah, that must have been to like a kind of carrier missile, actually. The craters tell the whole story. That was nicely done. Targeting jammer gets picked off here. You want to put that one like on this side of the hill, but it's not really terribly impactful. It doesn't cost you any money. And now Orbnet just wants to try and stop Cookies from getting onto his base here, but big damage being done to these salvagers. These AVs are it's not like able to like stop these assault ships from getting the damage done. And if they want to, they can keep going, and I think I would. I would just target the salves and just try and kill them off entirely. He's kind of doing like half and half here, but it's okay. He's gonna get the kills. No. Get the salvager. Kill him. Kind of bad focus fire here from Cookies, I gotta say. Ooh. Only one of them survives though, so the AS definitely got their job done here. Question is, does he have ref mode on the way? No, he doesn't. That would have been really, really bad for Orb if like ref mode was already on the way here. But instead he's building more assault ships, but he still is driving back toward his second. So I feel like you gotta think about this one. You're gonna be behind now, right? Because your opponent is on one base now, and you're on one base. And your opponent is gonna rebuild salvagers, he's gonna go up onto two base, and you're gonna just be building assault ships, right? And so you're not gonna get up onto two base. As a result, you're just gonna be like behind actually, despite the damage that you just got done. So I feel like that's a little bit unfortunate for Cookies here. Nice attempt on the Con of Carry missile, but it's not gonna land. Skim does get picked off by these LEDs, but they're not going to be able to get anything else done. At least they do a bit of like scouting, I suppose, in a way. Like they see if there's rail tech or something like that. More importantly, though, they see the PC back at the carrier, and that's actually going to be pretty relevant because obviously that means there's no return rush, like there's no return push, that is. So we're not going to be killed by assault ships if we leave our main base bare, which is exactly what Orbnet is doing. And he just goes up to two base as fast as he can. And ref mode just now getting started on the queue, but you can see right how that actually puts Orbnet ahead in this game, not behind. So it's a good attempt by Cookies here, but I think he kind of played himself a little bit. This is good though. He's just going to pick off one of the AVs and retreat. Ah, but this is some excellent pressure here by Orbnet. He's just going to put an AV over here, pulls his PC up. He doesn't know, his opponent doesn't even have ref mode. But like if he did, obviously he would have just stopped him from mining fluently over there. So that was really well done. Just this one AV. Doesn't even shoot a single bullet, but look how much damage it did. And we have Sport Cruiser Anti-Air coming out. Whoops. And Assault Cruiser Fab from Orbnet. So that's kind of interesting. He doesn't seem to want to just pop up onto 3 base, because he could, right? Like, if Orbnet wanted to, he could be on 3 base already, practically. But instead, he's going to go straight into the Assault Cruiser tech and then get anti-air. So that's kind of interesting to see. I wonder if he's, like, planning some kind of 2 base push. This is not what he did in, like, previous tournaments, of course. We would have always seen BC tech, like, immediately, like, get locked in here. And I'm trying to remember what he did in the group stage games against me, but I actually have kind of forgotten. Shameful to say. Stone Fat Crab. What a username. Anyway. Sport Cruiser Anti-Air is finishing now. Obviously we don't actually have interceptors getting tech, but I mean if they do, it's going to be kind of nice for him to have. Not usually a fan of that, because I don't like... how do you say? This is resources which are spent, yeah, they're on the field, but they're not actually doing anything, so they might as well still be in the bank, you know what I'm saying? But especially because, like, he also got assault cruisers. If he's worried about air from his opponent, then this is, like, 0 tempo as well, because he's gonna have to get assault cruiser anti-air before he can push out, if he thinks his opponent has air. And in fact, he hasn't even built any assault cruisers yet, has he? Looks like he's just kind of healing the damage done. I did hear the sound of a blast drone. So that's happening. But I don't think he's gonna catch anything, like, exposed here just yet. It seems like Orbnet has this pretty well locked down. Okay, the first AC is actually out. And man, it looks pretty freaking good. Beautiful unit there. Okay, so the BDs, it looks like, are going for an attack on the main base. This AV is not really in position to stop them. So he needs to, like, move out of the way here. Ooh. Doesn't lose any units. That's pretty good. Of course, that happened, I think, because he hit the detonate key too early. Although he might have run into the support cruiser and detonated on that. Definitely, like, 2 BDs should kill at least a salvager. But he doesn't actually get anything, so... It's a valiant attempt, but it doesn't seem to pay out. Ooh, not a fan of that. He queues up like 4 salvagers on the same PC. But again, like, Orbnet here could have gone on to 3 base if he wanted it, but he hasn't pushed out at all, so I'm kind of curious what he's doing. He has got an AC anti-air. I mean, that's like a very, very low tempo type of build here. And to be fair, we do finally have Interceptor Tech done for Cookies, but you don't need anti-air until now. You know, you didn't need it before. In fact, you don't even need it yet, because these Interceptors aren't done yet. So Orbnet, I think, really should be on 3 base right now, but it's okay. He's healing up that Sport Cruiser, and then he's probably going to rotate this guy over onto the 3rd base. And he will be pretty much even on eco, unless he gets damage done with this push right here, because he was faster on 2 base, but he's going to be slower on 3 base. Floating a little bit too, but you can't exactly just build ACs all day because they are very expensive on RUs. So you'll notice he's starting to build a bunch of LAVs as well. AV's getting a little chunked here, but they're going to be okay. And the air is going to be launched for the first time now, but it's not going to get anything done because these guys have anti-air. Cookies couldn't really know it, but you will know it now. Once you know there's anti-air on these ACs, you really gotta leave, because it's pretty strong. He wants to stay and trade for damage, but like this guy could just heal out of it. Dude, this is a little bit of a throw here. But also, because Orbnet knows that nothing can really threaten this AC that he's got on the field, he could even just like heal now. But I kind of like this more, actually, just like be a bit more aggressive on the field here. Obviously, he's going to win against these assault ships pretty handily. So that's going well. And then the heal is popped actually now that the missiles are coming out, so that's a little unfortunate. Actually, yeah, the missiles killed the assault ship there. This is probably a bad time to heal. He wanted to use overcharge instead. An overcharge for sure should be used on this AC. It does go down in the end. That's what you would expect. So a little bit of bad AC control here, I think, but, oh! Blast drone's coming up onto the 2nd base now. What are we doing here? Okay, yeah, see again, if he hits on the Sport Cruiser, he's not actually going to get any kills there, so... It's a little bit unfortunate, the unit control over there. But this AC is going to survive, it looks like, which is pretty nice for Orbnet. And then the second AC, or sorry, the LAV stream is hitting the main base as well at this time, so I'd say this is looking pretty good. Obviously he's got a lot of damage done through this this little push here. And is he on 3 base? Oh yeah, he is, right? Yeah, we saw that. He's probably gonna send. If this is a support cruiser, yeah, it is. He's probably gonna send this one over here to heal. No, it looks like he's going to mobilize his carry now. And then BC Tech has started. Orbnet, of course, he does love to play with cruisers, so... LAVs, meanwhile, just going to chew up these interceptors here. That's a lot of LAVs. And there's no afterburner tech, right? So... Unfortunately, those two are going to go down as well. So if you look at the board now, we have a bunch of assault ships for Cookies, but that's kind of all he's got. And I really don't like his chances in this game. He doesn't seem to have anything really, like any advantages going for him. This AC kind of healing in a bit of an awkward spot here, but at least the other one's here to attack. Definitely you want to use overcharge on this one now though. But like that's the thing, when you're attacking assault ships, they can actually beat ACs that don't have overcharge ability used currently. So like you really want to save the ability line for like when the fight starts and then just use overcharge. So that like they can't really do any damage to you, right? And you can chase them down and kill them, which is quite nice. Actually, he might lose this AC. I mean, it's a weird thing to think that like ACs can be beaten by assault ships, but they really can when they've got armor 3. These guys have got veterancy. Holy moly! Nice one, Sean. But this LAV blob is still pretty scary. Obviously, how is Cookies ever going to move off of his main base if the LAVs just can like sweep in and kill him instantly? So he's locked down like forever probably. I don't expect Cookies is going to be able to like leave his base for the rest of the game. Unless that is Orbnet like throws a little bit, but I don't expect that to happen. And the LAVs have this huge vision radius too, so You also kind of know as cookies when you push out that like your opponent can see you leaving the base and you can't see where they are, so it's really kind of a hard time. Savon BC Tech is done, by the way. It's on the queue as well. I don't know how many you're building, but could we assume it's 3? Wow, he's got a lot of CUs. Oh my gosh. This, as we've seen though, this can be a throw if you just like believe in the Savon carrier at low power to like take this fight. So I'm a little worried. Like he could. I mean, look at how much damage he's gonna take from like assault ships, for example. Not to mention the kind of carrier missiles are just gonna chunk him as well. So I don't really like being this aggressive with like a carrier necessarily. This is good positioning. You want to like rotate the back end out now, and then you just want to like let this be a staging point until your carry gets like higher power levels. And then you can get done with it pretty much whatever you like. BCs are out though. Yep, it's a party bus. It's all 3 of them. One thing you got to do though is like rotate the carrier so that the back end is facing out this way. Because then of course, you know, the BCs just like they're here instead of here, so it's about like 800 meters of distance or something that you get. Uh-oh. Well, he's getting chunked here. I guess they don't have rating or the assault pack. Ow, like they all died. Look at that. Ooh. That's unfortunate. Well, I guess that actually takes a lot of pressure out. This is what I was saying, like if he throws, he might lose that pressure that he's got, but still though, this is 3 Savon BCs here, and you can see there's more on the queue. And this is a very Orbnet type of thing to do. He's gonna back this one up for repairs. Definitely respectable. But he really wants more power and armor and like stop frontline with the carrier. Oh, he could lose this. He doesn't realize just how much damage he's taking. Yeah, aye. This is quite scary actually. That carrier, did you see it like rotating like that? Okay, he's powering it up, but like just a couple more missiles is gonna kill him here. And Cookies sees it. He knows he's kind of lost this game if he doesn't like kill him now. So he's going for the carrier trade. Oh my gosh. Honestly, I don't know who wins this one. It's probably Orb, but okay, yeah, Orb's got it. Never mind. This is actually a heinous amount of BCs. I take it back. 600 health though on this carrier. Yikes! I mean, you gotta know, like that Savon carrier is weak. Like, it can die so easy. Ooh. Ooh-wee. Okay, well, he does take the game though, so that's gonna be game 1 going in Orbnet's favor. And in fact, he might be online, so I'm gonna ping him that we're casting his games right now. That was a little scary. Oh well, he does take it in the end. Let's load up game 2. Gonna be on the Boneyard. This one is Orbnet's pick. He also picks Firebase Crew, and I think those two are both kind of staple maps for him, so that makes a lot of sense to me. Cookies picks Kartoba for the next one, and then if there were to be an ace match, Orbnet's gonna pick Kalash Teeth, which again is a map that I think we've seen him play pretty well on. So, but Boneyard definitely a staple map for Orbnet. Kind of like Shrike, I guess. He really likes this map. Let's give me another base friend to retire. No probe, mind you. And he goes LAV Fab here again. Note-taking intensifies.
Salvager online. Salvager awaiting orders. Rally point acknowledged.
What do we got going on the other side? It's probably ref mode first. We do have the base runner retire. Of course, that's what Conf does because they don't have the scanner. So there's no reason for them to hold that base runner in the beginning. I like the quick drop, but he's a little bit off. There we go. And he can queue up a salvager as well. But I would actually like to see him save up now for Sandsskimmer Tech. I've talked about this before. I think we talked about this on the Canyon alt map between March 1 and A-game, but you really want to go for Sandskimmers after like ref mode is started, usually, like before you build any salvagers. It's a lot safer that way. And especially as Conf, because you're blind, you can't see if your opponent is coming to get you or not. You really need to be playing safe, not greedy. So, but Sandskimmer Tech is started now. It's gonna be 8 salves into Sandskimmer Tech, which is okay. but it's definitely a little bit greedy. And Orbnet, it looks like, is going to be playing for some kind of damage here, because we do have Railfab started with LAVs coming out across the map too.
Carrier defensive weapon online. Rally point acknowledged. Sand skimmer production now available. Rally point marked. Cruiser's refinery capability now online.
Ref mode is done.
Sand skimmer now in service.
And he makes a sand skimmer as well to scout, which is all just as well because he is about to be attacked by these LEDs. So what does Orbnet want to get done on this push? He really just wants to like delay his opponent's approach to like 3 base basically. Because you can see he's queuing up his sport cruiser here. I actually don't like this because he shouldn't have gotten rail tech so early. But he does have it, so he might as well use it, right? So I wouldn't like to see him making this SC. I'd rather see him attacking actually. But yeah, definitely the play here for Orbnet is he wants to delay his opponent's move to like 3 base. And interestingly, just showing his face, he's actually already made his opponent back away off of his 2nd base, but he does rotate the carrier and the PC, so he'll be on 2 base again before too long here. SC is out, and Orbnet is going to move up on the 2 base. But again, like rail tech, what does that do for him here? It's kind of a head scratcher for me. Because like, he didn't get any damage. He didn't build any of them. So like, I don't know why he went for a rail fab. It's okay though. 2nd PC is on the way for cookies. I don't suppose Descara is still here, right? I think he was eating something. I want to ask him something about like StarCraft 2 builds and whatever, but that's fine. Unless he's here, in which case, say hello. Okay, so now we have some rails starting to be built from Orbnet. He also gets carrier protection upgrade? Maybe, okay, yeah. So I was thinking like, when we play DOK games here, you can frame like the builds that people do as like a reaction to what they did in the game before, but you could also say that they just want to like mix it up and like do different builds each time. Is it true in StarCraft 2 that like the matchup pretty much has like one build at the very top level, like at high level competition, and pretty much we only see that? And then it comes down to execution, like who's gonna win? Or is it true that they have several builds that they can do, and it's like they mix it up just like we do in DOK? They do mix it? Okay. That sounds much more interactive to me. I haven't watched a lot of StarCraft 2 recently, so I wouldn't know. The last series that I watched, it was the same game pretty much 5 times in a row. This was some finals, I can't remember what it was for though. But I guess that's kind of a rarity. Oh, it depends on the map. Oh. Soul chip tech done, by the way, for Orbnet. So I guess that the pick bans in StarCraft 2 tournaments are pretty impactful then, aren't they? Because if that's the case, you certainly have certain builds that you can play. You certainly have like a few builds that you can play better than your opponent, you think, and so you want to like make sure you get the right maps for it in the pick ban. But I don't know. Okay, well that's kind of good to hear though, because like I was kind of worried when I saw that. I was like, wow, it's just the same game 5 times in a row. You know what I mean? Like it's not very interactive. By the way, just want you guys to notice, it is like 3 base from both players. I don't know why Orb was taking so long to get there, because he went railfab. Like he's only built 1, but it is going to be Con of Siege from from Cookies. Remember what I said about Con of Siege, right? Like, if you just know how to build this unit, you're better than, like, 80% of players, alright? Because this unit can get a lot of value done. Especially when it is rails from your opponent. So I'm happy to see him making it. Sand Skimmer damage 2 coming out as well. And he's fighting right... Well, not right before. I guess it wasn't really close to done yet. But he does have the upgrade lead here is the thing. So he's going to take this fight probably with just a little bit of focus fire. Or maybe even without it. But these 4 skims, what do? They want to get in there. The thing about LAV rail is that if the LAVs die, the rails die too. So, yeah, he wants to push. He wants to push you. He's being way too passive. And then Siege Cruiser tech about 20 seconds away as well. But he should just keep, like, in this case, he should just keep pumping out, like, skims and then Con of Siege. And I think he's actually got a pretty good He's got a pretty good mid game ahead of him here. Missile battery fab coming out as well for Orbnet because he hasn't seen any tech, so he's got to worry about air. But it's in fact not going to be air. Uh-oh, a little bit of a throw here though, because obviously he's close to his opponent's production now. He can trade it for this rail, it looks like, but this is pretty rough. Oh, he's not even going to get the rail gun. Ooh. Yeah, so kind of some bad Sandskimmer micro there. Going to cost him a lot as Orbnet suddenly finds himself with a very strong Strikecraft lead. The question is, though, what's it going to do against Con of Siege? Because Con of Siege can counter everything that Orb's got on the field right now. Like, the only thing that's going to beat the Con of Siege is some kind of a late game option. So... And indeed, that is on the queue. That's definitely what he needs. Like, he's got to build this unit. But it's not going to be quite in time. Like, these LAVs are going to hit the... They're going to hit the main here. And they're both teching upgrades, so Cookie still has the upgrade advantage, but that's not gonna win him a 14 versus 9. I mean, like a 5-unit difference here is huge, especially for the LAVs. I think LAVs probably use that numbers advantage a little bit better because they can attack before the enemy's even in range. But like, he can just hold ground and fight if he wants to. He's even finding a bit of high ground, which is nasty. So massive damage coming out onto these Sand Skimmers. But Con of Siege is out. And so that should stop the LAVs. They can't obviously push against this Con of Siege. And then we see some assault ships being built too. But actually, in a funny way, I think assault ships are somewhat weaker here because I think Sand Skimmers are going to be... They don't get countered by the things which could damage the Con of Siege, namely rails. And so also the barrage is really wasted there too. Oh no. He fired one missile on that barrage. Did you see that? If you move, the barrage is cancelled, so you have to think about that. The thing is, the barrage is a really long cooldown. You can't just use it. You know what I mean? Like, you've gotta think about when it needs to be used and whatever. But yeah, Sand Skimmers here actually are very powerful because they are not countered by the same things which are going to counter this Con of Siege. And so as a result, you kind of force your opponent to build two things at once. But you have to get the numbers majority over these LAVs to make that work. We have Siege range upgrade coming out? No. Oh, he's got the money for it though. That would actually also be a very good thing to go for here. 2 Con of Siege are out, and then he's going to go for his 3rd PC. I respect that a lot. But yeah, there's a lot of things that he can go for that'd be powerful here. Like range upgrade on the Siege Cruisers, looks like he's teching too. That's very good. And then probably carrier power he would want to have. It's going to be BCs for Orbnet, which is kind of expectable because it's Orbnet, right? He loves this unit. And so, as the Con of player here, you really need to get cruise missiles going, I think, to beat these BCs. Obviously, the Siege Cruiser is going to do well also, but... Uh-oh. This is pretty nice. Look at this. He gets a little bit of a run by now, so... He doesn't want to get killed by this, but he pulls the LAVs to deal with it. Uh-oh, but now he's going to get killed for it. So he goes too deep here. This is kind of a classic mistake. Look at this focus fire as well. He doesn't shoot at anything on the way. Gets instantly destroyed. That's crushing. You look at the units lost tab, that kind of tells the whole story there. That's a pity. That's really a pity. Those Sand Skimmers had actually a lot of pressure. Like, he shows his face here, the LAVs suddenly freak out and they have to react. He pulls off the main base, or the 3rd base, and now you just back away. You know, and it's almost like you didn't even have to do anything, but you still get this huge amount of damage done. LAVs can attack the Siege Cruiser now. Micro wasn't great, and so the Siege Cruiser actually is going to die to LAVs now. Oh no. Ooh. Yeah, so what you want to do against LAVs, you want to be at like max range because it makes it really hard for them to abuse like rotation. But like if LAVs are killing Siege Cruisers, I think that really tells you kind of about how many LAVs there are here. Like, this is kind of getting a bit snowbally. But barrage is up on this Siege Cruiser, so definitely barrage on these rails. That's definitely what he wants to do. Yep, there it is. Just get any little bit of damage you can with this Con of Siege. It wants to play sort of an attrition style. Meanwhile, we have EMP teching for the Siege Cruiser. That's an interesting choice. And now he just actually wants to play close against the rails and far against the LAVs. It's kind of an interesting back and forth. But I think he wants to take this fight. I think he can take it. Because these rails are in very bad position. They're way too close. And the assault ships there as well, of course, going to vanguard off these LAVs quite nicely. Orb has BCs almost done though. So that could kind of change everything, you know? EMP lands on a couple of the LAVs there as well. Ooh. Siege Cruiser goes down. Again, like, I think, why am I saying again? I don't know. But, like, you gotta play this sort of attritional style with these kind of siege... Oh, no, that goes down too. This is looking pretty bad to me. This is why, by the way, I was saying it was quite impressive that Marchwadden was able to, like, take games from A-game. Because you can see, Kana Siege is not just, like, this insta-win button, right? If you miscontrol them, they do look pretty stupid. So what you want to do is, like, you want to find windows where your opponent is too close to you with these rails, or in the case of the LAVs, you just want to stay away from them, like, not stay away like map-wise, but just keep your distance, and then you can just kill them really easily. And then you just want to constantly be barraging every time you find where his rails are and just get a little bit of damage done. And that damage is going to stack up, because rails are really expensive units. And all of a sudden, you know, just based on your unit control, if you know how to control them properly, now we have a unit which can counter rails, it can counter LAVs, and it can counter assault ships. So there's nothing, or AVs, I guess. So there's nothing you can do with a mid-tier army really to like fight Kana Siege if it's used properly. So just some food for thought. One thing I like though, he's not using the barrage against these BCs here. The barrage is best saved for the rails, but definitely he's got missiles in the carrier. He should be like, he doesn't know exactly. Well, now he knows where this guy is, but he should be trying to hit that battle cruiser with the Conf carrier missiles. Wrong target. He might be in sensors, but that's okay. The siege cruiser here gonna get carry blocked in a bit of an awkward way. Kind of siege starting to hit on this carrier, but again, like, you shouldn't be standing here because you know that the BCs are gonna hit you. This is not how kind of siege wants to trade. He does land the EMP. But he goes down. Yeah, he can't quite seem to get these favorable trades that he wants. These cruise missiles might kill the BCs though, they do get one. Orbnet probably needs a couple more support cruisers, because actually I think this BC is going to die to the barrage. Oh, 3 HP on this guy. Ugh. He does go down. Then Power 3 gonna start getting teched by cookies. That's gonna be a good choice. Power is gonna be strong here. This LAV ball, I was actually about to ask like where it is. It's in the back. That's gonna be pretty powerful actually. This is a very strong backstab that could go down here. He's got like this weird focus fire thing going on. Definitely wants to just like kill the salves, just kind of run through. Or maybe even the PC. I don't know which one would be better here. Probably the salves. Because I think that, like, Con of Siege is kind of your main enemy. Oh my gosh, it's going to be mirrored by backstab on the other end, though. Okay, so both players is kind of going to get some big damage done against each other here. You can see assault ships being built kind of out of panic here for cookies. And indeed, he is favoring to go after the eco. I quite like this from Orbnet. And then meanwhile on the other side, this missile battery fired the mortar, but it didn't seem to get too many kills off. It's fine. But 2 bases wiped off for cookies. And like for some reason these skims haven't really killed any salvagers. Well, they've killed 3, I suppose. They're gonna get this SC. And then they're driving up the line. Yeah, okay, so they can get these rails too, probably. I'd love to see like marked target used on these. Oh no. Oh no, where's he going? Where are you going, man? Oh no. I don't get this. I don't understand where he's trying to go with this. Oh my gosh, Orbnet's carrier is almost dead. What's going on? Somehow I missed this. Okay, so he's turning around, he's turning his tail and running. Looks like the Conf player finally got kind of like a good engage off. I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't see quite how this happened. Barrage gonna get flung out as well. Now Orbnet, what he's got to do is just put power into armor. I mean, we know that Savon carrier is very weak with no power in the armor, but he doesn't seem to be respecting that enough. Kind of Siege, by the way, definitely a unit that scales pretty well with like numbers. So There's a real power in having 4 of these things, but the BC is also going to be doing a lot of damage at this point because there's 4 of them too. EMP lands on one of them, or 2 of them actually. We need to be seeing more carrier missiles for sure. That's like what he does to win this game for sure. Uh-oh, those are missiles though. BC is once again going to start chunking away at this kind of siege. It's a little bit too close because obviously it can get direct fired now. The Savon BCs have this excellent advantage of range and they want to use it. And indeed, another BC going to go down here. Oh, why are they targeting a Sandstorm? I guess they don't have vision. These things, I think, at this point, really want to just be like backing away. They can't fight. They're just too low. You can't quite make this push work. And like strangely, things seem to be kind of falling apart for Orbnet here. By the way, it's really interesting that the PCs have actually been pulled up to the front line for Cookies. I don't know exactly why he did that, but because he could have just rebuilt his bases, I think he'd be fine. Barrage just come out, but it's going to be a bit of a miss. But Orb, I think, for sure should have been winning here. I'm not sure. Like, I didn't see what happened to the carrier because I was kind of too focused on those sand skimmers making like the gauntlet running through like the entire enemy base. But all of a sudden, it almost seems like Orbnet is kind of on the back foot here. Yeah, seriously. So many freaking units blowing up over here. Crazy, dude. Orbnet's got no float, by the way, so what you see is really what you get. I think he's pushed off his bases, and he's probably going to lose from here. Just because he doesn't have anything to, like, rebuild. No time to get heals off either. And it's worth noting, this carrier will die to, like, 2 volleys from the Conniff carried missile barrage. Maybe even 1. And he's got vision now. No, he doesn't have vision yet, but he will in just a moment. Oh yeah, he does, because this thing's shooting back. So he might actually be able to end the game just by clicking X 4 times, but... Oh, but all of a sudden Orbnet taking a really good trade himself, but this carry is really low, 257 HP now. Oh no, keep running! Oh. He's still alive, he's still alive. Like, these support cruisers need to be tasked onto this carrier. Oh my gosh. Because Orbnet actually took a really nice engage there. He's actually sort of ahead right now. But his carrier is so low, but the kind of carrier is going to back away. Okay, he could still win. He could still win this, dude. He's building more BCs? Are you crazy? You need to just kill this carrier up. Oh my gosh. And taking power 1, that seems a little bonkers too, because like, what are you going to get done with that? Main base is mined out now for Cookies. He's just going to base trade. I mean, you've got this base for free. I would definitely take this. But these support cruisers are not healing the carrier at all. He could like die to sand skimmers right now. Like, this is insane. How little he's valuing the carrier help. There's a lot of damage from these BCs here. But oh no, don't waste it on a LAV. The Conniff carrier, interestingly, can actually tank a lot of this damage. Like, it's more relevant if like a siege cruiser gets picked off by it. Maybe I'm eating my words, because actually he's taking a lot of freaking damage here. Oh no, he's gonna lose. Ooh. Oh my gosh. How did this happen? And Orbnet, in quite interesting fashion, manages to win game 2. It seems to me like if you give Orbnet his critical mass of BCs, he just wins the game off of it, right? Wow. That was crazy. What a game, man. That was insane. Like, I don't even know what was going on. This field, like this area of the map has just been like destroyed. Crazy, dude. Oh my gosh. You're lagging hard, huh? Yeah, what the heck? It's on my end. I don't know why though. I mean, I'm in Ethernet right now. Oof. Hello? Internet? Do you work right now? We're kind of in the middle of a cast here. This is not a good time. Oh dear. 0.5 megabits per second upload speed. Ugh. Ugh. That's pretty bad. I have no idea why it's lagging so bad, but just blame Comcast, alright? Because it's clearly their fault. This confirms my suspicions that it was never the Wi-Fi all along. It was just the internet service provider. That's okay. These eventually go up to YouTube, so we will keep going. Game 3 here going to be on Firebase Curl. This is potentially series point for Orbnet, who has won 2 in a row. Strangely. I thought for sure he had to lose that second one, but that Sauvon carrier got so low. It had 240 health on it, and he didn't even repair it. I mean, like, jeez, he could have died to like a skimmer run by. Like, it was crazy, but he's going to be feeling pretty good about that win. I mean, as for like what that does to a mental state, I think Cookie's definitely going to be feeling a little bad about that. Base Runner Retire comes out, but I suspect this is going to be ref mode first once again. No, actually, you know, he put 2 on RUs, so maybe this is going to be like a rail rush or something. Actually, I don't know what it's going to be. We'll have to see. Keep you updated. LAV Fab coming out here now for Orbnet, but it looks like he did put 4 on CUs first. So this is not an AAV rush. This is probably 5 LAV into SC then, if I had to guess, but it's hard to say. And it is ref mode first, okay. That's kind of curious. But yeah, ref mode first coming out for Cookies. Actually, maybe I take it back. I think maybe you do put 2 on RUs to go ref mode first. OBS Studio tells me we're at 1,000 kilobits per second. 500 kilobits per second? That's pretty bad. Yikes. Oh well, we'll see what happens. I'm typing it because I don't even know if they're getting my voice at all right now. I don't know why. It's like, it's not like anything changed. We're still on Ethernet. I'm mad. I'm mad about this. Anyway, ref mode is going to be done now for Cookies. Again, though, no Sandskimmer Fab. This is very, very late, you know. And Orbnet, man, what are you doing? He's going AV Fab again into SC third. This is a very bad build. Like, the Orbnet build was, like, kind of suspicious, but then it turned out to work. But, like, this is just bad. You should never do this. Because he throws away all tempo. He's not going to, like, have any kind of, like, powerful attack off the back of this. There's no way. But his eco is also just slower than his opponent by every metric. So this is just a really bad build. I expect better of him. How does the graphic on like the Sauvon targeting jammer work? It seems like it's reflecting something, but I can't really tell. It looks pretty cool, I'll tell you that much. Railgun Fab gonna be the choice of tech here for Cookies. Oh, it's 10 a.m. My alarm just went off. And then Power 1 gonna get teched really early as well. That's kind of an interesting choice. Because he's not getting attacked, right? It's like I don't know why he's going for that. Oh well, he's got Power 1. So he might as well power it up with like mobility support, I suppose. And then a couple of assault rails can be built across the field. I like that quite a bit. It's because you haven't seen anything from your opponent. You don't know what his tech is going to be, And actually, I'd really love to have a scout over on this side of the map already, but he is moving one out there. But, you know, assault railguns are going to do pretty well against pretty much anything, unless it's like a one-base air rush, but we don't usually see that. And we don't, I don't think we have ever seen that from Orbnet, so... By the way, can you see carrier here? Yes, you can. Second support cruiser comes out for Orbnet, so now he wants to commit to eco. It's a little strange, but... I mean, he doesn't have any tech yet, right? No, he does. He has AV tech. But I think that actually Cookies could look to like get some pressure on him here by moving like assault railguns out across the field. But he's going to go for third PC here. Or no, this is his second PC, sorry. But he's looking to go up onto 3 base. Seems to have stabilized. Oh, that is good news. That's good to hear. Hopefully it doesn't die again, though. Because you never know with freaking Comcast, right? Yeah, Cookie's playing this really, really passive style here, and it's allowed his opponent to actually get ahead in economy. Despite having, like I said, a very bad build. Like, Orbnet's build should put you behind on 3 base, like, by quite a margin here, but he's not gonna do it. So instead, he's somehow ahead here because Cookies has been a little bit slow. Assault Cruiser Tech coming out from Orbnet pretty quickly here, and it's gonna be straight to Honor Guards from Cookies, alright. We haven't seen that recently, but, actually, I don't think we've seen Honor Guards at all this tournament so far. Which is kind of funny because they are really just really, really good units, but I feel like the situation kind of has to allow for them to be built. We do have Honor Guards coming out. Assault Rail is in a bit of an interesting position over here. Cookies wants to build more of them. Like, you'll notice his float that he's got here. That's really not good. You want to have more army on the field rather than in the bank. And with like a couple more assault railguns, he could just hold off this AV forever. But he also has this attack that he can do, so... Looks like he does manage to kill this AV just with like ton of carrier missiles. Don't really know what it was doing there. This AV here, though, wants to push, and it's kind of being a little bit too passive. Honor Guard tech is done, though. In like a second anyway. So we'll see if he just instantly queues one up. He's got the money for it. I think they cost 270 RUs. Oh, he's fleet capped. It really do be like that sometimes. Meanwhile, for Orbnet, he does have Assault Cruiser Fab done, and I think he's building one. Let's see by this yellow bar. No, he's not actually. Yeah, he seems to be getting a lot of tech that he's not building in this series. And it's going to be another PC actually before we have an Honor Guard. I don't like that from Cookies either, because once you get the tech, I think you want to build the unit. Honor Guards are really, really powerful, and they're going to counter everything your opponent has on the field. Fighter and Gunship is coming out, but they can counter that too with the anti-air upgrade. So, like, yeah, I don't know. I think you really want to be more proactive here as Cookies. He also is in danger of losing assault rails now to these LAVs. Really bad focus fire on the salvager. He's not kiting since ALM is also contributing. Ouch. It's not worth it. I mean, like, he gets a little bit of mining time delay, but quite a lot of damage done. He also is not going to scout this, he's not going to scout Fighter and Gunship, and that's going to be pretty impactful, I would imagine. Because Fighter and Gunship may just kill that Honor Guard outright. Tons of LAVs on the field. This is crazy. This is 20 LAVs. I mean, this is a field where Honor Guards are going to do really well. He wants this unit, but he's not building it. He's got the tech, but that is only half the battle. Okay, there we go. Honor Guard's finally on the queue. And then Assault Ship Tech gonna get started here. And that's not bad, because obviously these LAVs are kind of a terror. One thing he's got to be aware of is that, like, if he ever is not somewhere with his carrier, and indeed with his Honor Guard, these LAVs are just gonna, like, chew up that area, and that's exactly what's happening over here. But again, he's going for the PC. He wants to go for the salvagers, does Orbnet. Because the PC, you're not going to kill very quickly here. So you should just, you know, take the damage that's given to you rather than kind of trying to force it a little bit. There's a heavy rail out as well. Maybe you could go for that, but I kind of would like him to just back away here. Sand Skimmers, of course, are arriving to kind of help deal with the situation. No upgrades on either side except for Assault Pack is done. The Honor Guards are out now. And we do have 3 strike fighters and a gunship is in the on the queue, not in the hangar. But if Orbnet plays, or sorry, if Cookies plays defensively, he's not going to die to air. Although one thing that's really cringe here is like he's carrier blocking his Honor Guard super bad. He's not actually gotten a single shot off here. Okay, he's finally moving it up onto the hill. He might lose a PC for that though. Yeah, he will. Ah. Super good Honor Guard shot, of course, as you would expect, but you really need to not carrier block yourself like that. That's okay though. One PC goes down, it's not like the end of the world. It's definitely a problem though, because it's also going to be impactful when the air units come around. Obviously, he wants to have that for anti-air. And he doesn't know yet. We don't have any blind anti-air tech. You should be getting, like, this is a scenario where you should get blind tech because you've only seen LAVs. And so you don't know what your opponent is doing. If it's air, you might just instantly die to it. So this is the time to get blind anti-air. He's going for interceptors. Oh my gosh. Orbnet is just gonna, like, full wing him. Ooh. That's quite bad. And then he's gonna tech the BCs. I don't know about that, because, that's just such like a low tempo move. He's got AC tech, remember. Like, I don't know why he has that tech if he's not going to build it. If I were him, I would build like artillery. AC's artillery and a lot of air. That's a pretty good way to deal with honor guards, I would say. Because, like, mass rails is always a little bit hairy when you've got honor guards on the other side, because you could just die to them. At any rate, it might be irrelevant, because these air units are going to hit like a truck. Ow. I mean, this is just so many strike fighters. Like, you've got to get blind anti-air if you really have no idea if what your opponent is doing. He splits pretty well for the gunship, but the gunship's not even going to go in, which is kind of funny. And this honor guard here is also going to be forfeit, so you've got to at least like try to play around like the PCs. One more volley, that's going to do it. Well, maybe he doesn't have the missiles. Oh! Oh, that gunship still has ammo. It's not going to matter, he goes down. Missile ship fab then on the queue for Cookies. That makes a lot of sense, but he's going to need a lot of missile ships to deal with this. And it's also worth noting, once the honor guards go down, these LAVs have again a window to kind of jump in, so they get a bit of free damage. Expert AFK dodge on the Con-F cruise missiles, of course. You'll have to see that. But the honor guard going to be able to defend actually from this position, which is kind of interesting. Wouldn't have expected to see that, but there you go. This is looking good for Orbnet though, but again, BC's very low tempo move here, right? Because right now, he is like way ahead of his opponent. So what you want to see him do right now is you want to see him smash him out. And I think ACs would be a good option to do that. Honestly, based on how much damage he did, almost anything could be a good option if he can get there quickly. But yeah, we don't have anything because we've teched into BCs and now it's going to take like forever to not only to build but also to reach the other side of the field. So not a fan of that, but it's okay. We do know Orbnet pretty good when he gets a bunch of BCs out, so like Cookies being on the back foot is almost already a death sentence in a couple ways, I think. But I mean, we'll have to see. And again, this is series points. I mean, Cookies is on the brink of elimination. So he's got to pull this through somehow. I'd love to see him build some missile ships too. Notice he got the tech, but he hasn't built any. When you're going to fight air versus air, having oh wait, never mind. He's got some. I take it back, but I'd like to see him build more. If you're going to fight air versus air, if you have some ground anti-air, you're going to do really well. Actually, oh, he docked his interceptors. Oh, that's actually really bad.
Salvage your
Because this could be a dead PC now.
Sand skimmer construction complete.
Or a dead honor guard, indeed. And that seems to be what he's going to go for. But again, look, these interceptors are just chilling in the hangar. They're not ready to respond, so that's quite bad. Honor guard goes down. That's a lot of money. If you look at the units lost tab here, like, look at the RU difference. It might change now during this fight because obviously interceptors are pretty good against strike fighters. And this is a really, really good trading pattern for them too if the interceptors are running away. Or the strike fighters running away, because when they turn around, they're really bad at like getting damage done. So you can see he's making up for this differential a little bit, but that's really rough. To lose another honor guard like that. The really tragic thing is that honor guards were like a perfect answer to what Orbnet was doing, but he built them too slow, and then he just didn't get anti-air to protect them. Heavy rails hooning on into these BCs, but you'll see BCs are quite good against railguns. In some cases, it's weird because railguns are a counter to BCs, but they also get countered by them. Kind of depends on the circumstances of the attack. They have the alpha damage to just kill them in one hit, and if they can do that, then railguns are quite weak against BCs. But if they can't, and if the railguns are able to just do damage consistently, then the railguns will win. So it's kind of a weird thing. Sand Skimmer's gonna start chewing up this support cruiser here. I don't actually like this. Cookie should be going. Oh! Look at the damage. ALM's pretty good, eh? Nice one, Orb. But yeah, so what he wants to do actually, he wants to go for the salvagers here instead, because obviously salvagers are more valuable than that support cruiser. But I know for a lot of people that's kind of counterintuitive, so we'll give him a pass on that. But this time, we're getting into a similar endgame to the last game, except that there's no units at all for the green team, right? So like, what's his win condition? Like, how does he win this? I really have no idea. Support cruiser anti-air is done, by the way. That's great. Artillery is being teched as well. I'm a fan of that. And more air units building. You'll notice this light blinking indicates that air units are being built. It's an important thing to know about the Conif carrier. But air is not really what he needs here. Like, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what he needs. Notice these two BCs, though. 3 BCs. Just playing defense. Is that a rally point? No, he doesn't have a rally point. This is horrible. Because, like, he knows where his opponent is. And if he doesn't know, he can find out with this gunship. This is, like, 0 tempo. This is disgusting. Because he could, if you like, he could have 5 BCs pushing over this high ground. That's like insta GG, like he's already won. And also, he's not getting any anti-air. I don't know, well, I guess support cruisers, but like, that's not enough. Put down some turrets with these base runners, that's what he ought to do. This is kind of messy. Here come the interceptors. They're gonna chunk down 1 BC instantaneously. They take damage, as you can see, from support cruiser anti-air, but not all that much. And if these rails wanted to, they could kill off this PC also, but... Okay, it looks like the interceptors are going to handle that one. But he lost a lot of interceptors by staying a little bit too long. He should have come in, gotten the alpha damage, and then docked, and then he can do it again next time. But instead, he stayed a little bit too long, took a lot of damage there. Missile ship is out, of course. He's just kind of chunking these strike fighters. I don't really like this from Orbnet either. I feel like the strike fighters and the interceptors, they really can't be used when there's like anti-air on the field, because you're just always going to take losses. Or not to say they can't be used, but they can't be used where the anti-air is. Seems a little bit sloppy to me. Artillery is on the queue though, and missile battery fabrication getting teched now. I like that. I don't know, it feels like it's taking him a while, but he's finally getting to this composition that is going to end the game here. Takes a lot of damage to these cruise missiles though, so you gotta realize like he hasn't just won already. He can't just kind of right click on his opponent, but he is in a good place here. Oh, look at the smoke. Look at the smoke. Anyway. It was a really good time smoke, but obviously there was nothing to do to save that AAV. Support cruisers just kind of healing up these BCs while we wait. It does take a long time. I mean, it feels quite oppressive when you're fighting against BCs to know that they can re-heal if you don't kill them, but like, it takes a long time. So it's not as powerful as you think. This might be a dead BC here. Oh. He lives, just narrowly. Oh my gosh. 150 HP left on that bad boy. But he makes it out. Range calibration coming out for cookies. Actually, I don't really like that because you already have range on the BCs. So this is important to note. So Wand BCs don't have as much range as railguns do. So like if they're ever shooting at you, you know you've gotten too close. It's difficult to keep at max range with railguns. But I mean that's the thing. Like range calibration increases that max range, but you know if you weren't at max range already, that's not going to help you at all. So I'm not a fan of that. But it is a good upgrade. It's just it's not going to work here. 7 BCs now in this little section. Am I right about that? Yeah. One of them going to die kind of sillily here. See, that's where railguns want to fight. That's like their max range. But like you wouldn't need range calibration to shoot from that far away. Barrage landing now on the Conf carrier, but it's not going to manage to hit anything, which is kind of lucky for cookies. Oh, he gets another BC. Look at that. Now that one, I think maybe he needed range calibration to hit. This one for sure. But the thing is, Orbnet, if he wants to play this right, he should always be out of line of sight. And then... What? Yo, are you seeing this? Oh, wait a minute. He just won the game. What is this move order, though? He's trying to drive through, like, over the cliff. I feel like that's not a good idea. Anyway, as you can see, though, this kind of siege style from Orbnet did work, and he manages to get all 5 artifacts. That is going to be the game. GG. And Orbnet does take it 3-0. Now we could go ahead and cast more quarterfinals, but I think we'll call that a day. Save it for next time. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time.